Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Circuit Court in and for Manatee County and the 12th Judicial Circuit of the state of Florida is now open and convened, with judges attending en banc for the investiture of the Honorable Brian A. Iten as Circuit Judge of the 12th Judicial Circuit. All are invited to draw near and give attention as court is now in session. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Judge of the 12th Judicial Circuit of the state of Florida, the Honorable Charles Williams.
Now we got a full house today. That's great. Nice testament to you, Brian. On behalf of all the judges of the 12th Judicial Circuit, I would like to formally welcome you to the investiture ceremony for the Honorable Brian A. Iten. To all of our honored guests, elected officials, friends, and family of Judge Iten, we are all pleased that you have chosen to share this most special occasion with our newest judge. The investiture ceremony is the formal welcome and introduction to new judges. However, as many of you know, Brian has already started his judicial duties, and with a very short transition period from being an assistant state attorney to hearing cases as a judge. He was assigned to serve in the Sarasota County Circuit Civil Division, which can be quite challenging for any judge, regardless of their background and experience, much less one whose background was mostly criminal law versus civil law. Judge Iten, in a very short period, has embraced the challenge. His strong work ethic is evident, especially in his early arrival at the courthouse, even before the bailiffs are there, and certainly before I'm there. When I stick my head in his office to check on him, more so to make sure he hasn't changed his mind about this job, he is buried in the huge notebooks that civil lawyers churn out in hopes that judges actually read these things. Well, I want all the civil lawyers to rest assured, Brian actually does. Judge Iten, on behalf of your colleagues, I want to formally welcome you to the judiciary. And speaking for all of your colleagues, we look forward to working with you. We truly hope that you enjoy your experience in this most rewarding job, and we all want you to know that we are all here to support you. Welcome. At this time, to give the invocation, I will ask Bruce Lee to come forward.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. When I was called recently by Brian Iten and asked to be part of the brief part of this ceremony here today, I was honored. And the reason why I was honored, folks, is because I believe that his quality is going to make him one of the best judges that we've had here in Manatee County. I believe in all my years here, he's one of the most deserving people to be appointed from this area, and I've been here quite a long time. It was a pleasure and a privilege to work with him for many years at the State Attorney's Office, and I got to see on a daily basis his integrity, his ethics, his professionalism, and his honesty in dealing with the community, the judiciary, his fellow attorneys, his colleagues, and the public at large in dealing with many cases throughout the years and many serious cases. And he used those qualities, very importantly, in making very serious decisions throughout the years. So with that in mind, folks, I'd ask that you bow your head. Merciful and loving God, we call upon you to be present on this occasion for a person who has demonstrated exceptional skill, talent, and integrity in his many years of service to the people of the state of Florida. As we begin, and Brian assumes his position and duties as a circuit judge in the state of Florida, We pray that you continue to instill within Brian's heart and mind a desire to continue to seek justice and follow the laws of the state of Florida. May Brian continue to act with the strength and courage that I know he has displayed throughout all the years of service to the people of the state. May he always temper his quest to attain justice with a true compassion, and may he continue to be blessed with humility so that he understands the privilege of holding this office and listening with an open mind to all people who come before him seeking justice. We pray your blessing upon him, his colleagues, and his family, so that today may be the start of the next chapter of his book of service to the people of the state of Florida. Amen.
Okay, at this time, to give opening remarks, do I refer to you as Judge? Former Judge Duran Adams.
Thank you, Judge Williams. Brian, it's a packed house. Good for you. Today we celebrate a great tradition. As we rose and watched the judges enter the courtroom in the procession of the robes, my thought was we were looking at the best lineup of trial judges in the state of Florida. You can clap. Go ahead. Excellence in our judiciary has itself become a local tradition. We have been fortunate over the years to have had a trial court bench that lawyers from other parts of the state have historically praised. Today, with the investiture of Brian Iten as a circuit court judge, that tradition of excellence in our judiciary continues. From time to time, our legal system has a need to be refreshed or replenished by new judges. When the need occurs, it is critical that top quality lawyers step up and offer to serve. When a recent vacancy arose, Brian Iten decided to put himself forward for the office, and I promise you, the community will be the better because he did. I believe that one of the reasons we have had a tradition of an outstanding judiciary for all of these years is because trial judges come out of a local legal community. Our local legal community has never outgrown itself. The lawyers who practice here, for the most part, still know one another personally. They work together in a closeness that requires them to be honest and honorable. And so it is with our trial judges. By the time someone makes the decision to become a candidate for a judgeship, either through the appointive process or through an election, he or she is usually a known quantity, which is another reason why we have been fortunate to have had good lawyers take their place on the bench. I have known Judge Iten since the late 90s, when he was a prosecutor in the criminal division I inherited from Judge Janet Dunnigan. I knew nothing about him when we started working together, except what Judge Dunnigan had told me. She said he was a hard worker and a good team player. He was diligent. She said he was always prepared. His ethics were impeccable, and that he was unusually bright. And that he was a conscientious trial lawyer who exhibited a sense of fairness in the courtroom. An opinion so full of praise from a trial judge as keen as Janet Dunnigan when it comes to courtroom skills meant to me that Brian Iten was a trial lawyer who came with a high pedigree. I had the good fortune to work with him in a courtroom and found out for myself that everything Judge Dunnigan had promised was true. This was a lawyer who paid attention to detail and anticipated issues and problems which might arise during the course of a trial. He had all of the makings of what we want to see in good lawyers who are responsible for serious matters. Lawyers like Brian Iten are made, not born. Sure, there's an innate intelligence and basic personality which probably depends more on nature than anything else. But most of the other qualities good lawyers have are learned. Judge Iten grew up in a middle-class family in Pinellas County and went to Tarpon Springs High School. His father was in the car business, so Brian learned how to work on cars at a relatively early age. He became good enough at keeping cars alive that he drives a 1995 Honda Civic and has done so since, well, 1995. He was also a Cub Scout. At the age of 17, while still in high school, he shadowed an attorney on career day and knew then, because of that experience, that he wanted to be a lawyer. He attended St. Petersburg Junior College and then went on to the University of South Florida. After graduation, he wanted to go to law school but did not have the money to pay for it. So he had to go to work full-time. And for 2 years, he was employed as an ATF compliance inspector in charge of ensuring that proper audit trails were maintained on the sale of firearms in accordance with federal law. He learned in the real world that attention had to be paid to detail. In those 2 years of work, Brian saved enough money to go to law school, and he graduated from the Florida State University School of Law in 1994. He became an assistant state attorney in Manatee County in 1994. Through the years, he worked his way up in the office and became responsible for prosecuting many major trials. Along the way, he married Liz in one of the most beautiful weddings ever held, and had 2 children, David and Amelia. A collection of rescued animals live in the home also. The Iten household on a Saturday afternoon is a very active place. In a remarkable speech given by Chief Judge Charles Williams a few months ago at the dedication of this historical courtroom, he quoted a passage from the book To Kill a Mockingbird. With Judge Williams' permission, I would like to repeat what he read. The words come from the closing argument of Atticus Finch when made in the trial of Tom Robinson, and it goes like this. There is one way in this country in which all men are created equal. There is one human institution that makes a pauper the equal of a Rockefeller, the stupid man the equal of an Einstein, and the ignorant man the equal of any college president. That institution, gentlemen, is a court. It can be the Supreme Court of the United States or the humblest J.P. court in the land, or this honorable court that you serve. Our courts have their faults, as does any human institution, but in this country, our courts are the great levelers. And in our courts, all men are created equal. I believe that on a day like today, when we rightly celebrate the investiture of one man, Judge Brian Iten, it is also fitting to celebrate our legal system, which in a very important way becomes the responsibility of every trial judge to care for while they have been entrusted with the opportunity. The jobs that these men and women sitting over here have are immensely important to our way of life. Our court system is a human invention, which ensures our liberty, keeps us free, and makes a promise that everyone is equal before the law. These are critical foundations of the American way of life. After the end of World War II, the Nuremberg trials were held in Germany to hold war criminals responsible for what they did. During one of the trials, a Third Reich official was asked to explain how a country like Germany ended up committing unspeakable atrocities in the name of the state. He said that the key to it was getting the judges to go along. Once the judiciary fell in line, he said, then the rest was easy. I mention this to underscore why an independent and strong judicial branch of government is critical to maintain and defend, and why we should feel reassured that a man like Brian Iten steps forward to take a solemn oath to serve, protect and defend our Constitution, and in so doing makes a promise through the law to keep us all free. Judge Iten, thank you, and may you serve for a long, long time.
Thank you, Judge Adams, for those remarkable words. At this time, the first Iten who's going to be publicly exposed is Amelia Iten, who's going to lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Excellent job, Amelia. At this time, we are going to be presenting Judge Iten, soon to be officially Judge Iten, with some token gifts, presentations, and just so that you know, we do keep count. Those of us who have had recent investitures will make certain that there was an equal amount of goodies that were given. The first would be from the Florida Conference of Circuit Judges. And unfortunately, Brian, we were going to give you something really nice. It's in the mail. You will receive it. It'll have your name on it. It'll have the date of the investiture. It'll say it's from the Florida Conference of Circuit Judges. It's going to be really, really nice. It's on its way. But at this time, I would like to introduce the Honorable Ed Brodsky, who will make a presentation.
Well, good afternoon. Judge Brian Iten served the State Attorney's Office. He served victims of crime. He served law enforcement, which is a testament to the years that he worked for the State Attorney's Office, for the large showing of law enforcement support that are here for you today, Brian. But he also served our community for 21 years, and he did it with great distinction. And he always did it ethically, professionally, and with strict adherence to the law. And I know that he will continue to maintain that same commitment as he takes the bench as a circuit court judge here in the 12th Judicial Circuit. So Judge Iten, on behalf of all of us at the State Attorney's Office, each and every one of us, we thank you for your service to the State Attorney's Office. We're grateful for everything that you did to serve our community as a prosecutor. We know that you're going to make a fantastic judge, and we wish you continued success in your new endeavor. We wish to present you with Lady Justice. And it has an inscription from Thomas Roosevelt, which says, "Justice consists not in being neutral between right and wrong, but in finding out the right and upholding it wherever found against the wrong." Congratulations, Judge Iten.
At this time, we would like to present Robert Eschenfelder, President of the Manatee County Bar Association.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, I have not had the opportunity, since he's a prosecutor, to work with Judge Iten, but we worked together in the same building for many, many years. We would see each other coming and going, and So I didn't get to know him until we stole one of his proteges, and for our office in the county attorney office, and I don't know how that's going to come to serve us in the future, Your Honor, having that insight into you, but I do know that the judge is noted for his appreciation of craft beers and for helping his daughter with her horseback riding, and I would encourage you not to do both at the same time. Those of you who know Judge Iten better than me know that he is a stickler for the rules. As a matter of fact, I am told, one of the quirks that Judge Iten has is that he will not cross Manatee Avenue except at the officially designated crosswalk when the light turns green. So if you want a law and order judge, you have your law and order judge. But Judge, you have been a criminal law practitioner for most of your career, and many years ago in my career, about 18 years, I was doing a federal trial, and it was a new federal judge who had just been appointed from the 2nd DCA. And at some point in day 3 of the trial, at a bench objection, he said, I don't know, what's the problem here? I took this job, and all I've been doing ever since I got here was criminal law and employment cases. So I just want to make sure you're aware, you're going to be dealing with family law and land use cases. This is your last chance, so you sure you want to do it? All right, well then you're in. On behalf of the Manatee County Bar Association, we are immensely proud that Judge Iten, one of our members for many years, has ascended to the bench. And to show our pride and appreciation, our award did in fact get here, and it does have his name. And so this is if you lose your gavel, you break this glass and you can get it, but otherwise it will hang there waiting. And it says, presented to the Honorable Brian A. Iten on the occasion of his investiture by the members of the Manatee County Bar Association, January 15th, 2016. Congratulations, Your Honor.
Okay, if I hear one more thing about our award not being here, I'm gonna have Judge Dunnigan go out to Pier 1 and bring something back in 20 minutes. At this time, I would like to present the President-elect of the Manatee County Bar Association's Young Lawyers Division, James Horn.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I have never been able to personally meet Judge Iten, but I am very excited about the opportunity to appear before you in Sarasota County and some of the many personal injury and civil cases we have before you. And I came here with a gift from the Young Lawyers Division because we're very excited to have you on the bench. And it is, I think, should be mandatory reading for any attorney who practices here in Manatee County. It's a great, fantastic book written by your colleague, Judge Smith. It's Lawyers and Legends of Manatee County, which he also signed. So, thank you.
At this time, I would like to present the President of the Sarasota County Bar Association, Mr. Keith DeBose.
Judges, Judge Iten, I have not had the chance to practice before you as a lawyer, but I did have a chance to talk to some of your colleagues who did have a chance to practice with you. And to the lawyer, they all commented on your thoroughness, your intelligence, your knowledge of the rule of law and of evidence code, how well prepared you are, and that in every occasion you will read the documents that are submitted to you by the lawyers, which was earlier mentioned by Judge Williams. And some of the comments mentioned earlier confirm just those kind words that they had to say about you. And I just want to say that those attributes, as lawyers in this circuit, and especially those who will regularly appear before you, can appreciate those attributes. And having possessing those attributes, we feel confident that our clients' cases will be thoroughly and completely reviewed at any hearing or trial. I have before you a clock for the Sarasota County Bar Association, and it reads, "Presented to Judge Brian A. Iten in honor of your investiture as a circuit judge in the 12th Judicial Circuit of Florida, Sarasota County Bar Association, January 15, 2016. And as I give you this clock, I probably would warn you, given Judge Williams' comments earlier, that you might want to be careful about him sneaking in early to set the clock back to make it appear as though he's been in early. So just watch that and check the time each day you come in. Congratulations.
Our next presenter is a little bit delayed from the Sarasota County Bar Association South County Division. They are driving a long way. So we're going to move up to the president-elect of the Florida Association for Women Lawyers, Manatee Chapter, Marissa Powers.
I am here today on behalf of the membership of the Manatee Chapter of the Florida Association for Women Lawyers, and as such, I would like to congratulate you, Judge Iten, on your appointment, wish you all the best in this new chapter of your life, and present to you something for your new desk and to commemorate this joyous occasion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The president of the Florida Association for Women Lawyers, Sarasota Chapter, Rebecca Proctor.
Judge Iten, I have not had the opportunity to meet you yet, but hello. And on behalf of the Sarasota Chapter for the Florida Association for Women Lawyers, we'd like to offer you a Richard Capes rendition of the historic Sarasota County, Florida courthouse, since you'll be practicing there, I believe. Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, the president of the Florida Association for Criminal Defense Lawyers, Sarasota Chapter, Anthony Ryan.
Judge Carroll, if I could have you close your eyes for a moment, please, as I present this commemorative vase to Judge Iten. With warmest regards, Sarasota Facto. Congratulations.
The president of the American Board of Trial Advocates, Sarasota Braden Chapter, Patricia Crowles.
Good afternoon, Judge Iten and everyone. I actually was given a promotion. I'm not the president of I actually have a better title. I'm a former past president of the American Board of Trial Advocates for the Sarasota Bradenton Chapter. Todd Miller wanted to be here. He especially wanted to be here because I understand he was one of the lawyers who tried the first civil trial in front of you, Judge. And trust me, I examined him closely about how that trial went and how did it go, And he had nothing but the best to say about his experience in trying the case before you. And so I look forward to that opportunity in the future. The American Board of Trial Advocates is an organization that whose goal is the preservation of the right to trial for civil trials, also for the professionalism and civility in the profession, as well as being available to respond to any type of unfair criticisms of judges. So on behalf of that organization, I can't get it out of here without ruining the package, so I'm going to leave it in. But we would like to present this desk plate, which says Judge Brian Iten, professionalism and civility. Anything less will not be tolerated by our chapter. Thank you.
At this time, to present the oath of office. Oh, hang on a second. Wait a minute. Do we have a? Oh, okay. Representing the Sarasota County Bar Association South County Division will be Mr. Keith DeBose.
Those of you who know I'm not Carrie Mack, but I'm here on her behalf. And I'm sure if she were here, or when she gets here, she will say that she will complain about the traffic, and she will complain about having to drive from South County all the way up here to do this event. But I will present to you, on behalf of the South County Bar Association, this lovely picture, and it reads, presented to Judge Brian A. Iten, in honor of your investiture as a Circuit Court Judge in the 12th Judicial Circuit of Florida, South County Division, Sarasota County Bar Association, January 15, 2016. Congratulations again.
All right, at this time, to administer the oath of office will be the Honorable Janet Dunnigan.
Okay.
It is my honor and my privilege to issue to you the constitutional oath of office. Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and government of the United States
and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office
to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
perform the duties of Circuit Court Judge,
perform the duties of Circuit Court Judge,
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Brian, I placed this on a certificate so that in a couple of months when you go, what the heck am I on? You will read it and understand you have taken the oath. And then many, many years from now, you'll read it again. And remember, you took the oath and did not perform it. Congratulations.
Okay, next we are going to have the robing by Liz and David Iten, and after the robing, we will have closing remarks by the Honorable Brian Iten.
September 26, 1994, I stood in this very room and was sworn in as a member of the Florida Bar by the Honorable Walter Talley. A mere 7,782 days ago. It's been a long journey, but I didn't get here on my own. There are many, many people to whom I owe a debt of gratitude. And the list is too long to accommodate the brief time I plan to be up here. But let me name a few. First, my father. He passed away last year. But I'll tell you what, he taught me the value of hard work. And he showed by example how important it is to be well-rounded. He was an artist, a musician, he was a mechanic, he was a handyman, he was a salesman, and a pretty good orator himself. But I wasn't raised by a single parent. I had my mother. Mom, you've always been the voice of reason in our house. You're always calm and steady. And it was your emphasis on education to let me come as far as I have. Doug, my brother, this is harder than you think. I just let you know. Hey, you've been my closest confidant, you're my advisor, and my brother constantly reminds me of what's really important in life. And yes, career is important, but there are things above and beyond career. We all have to remember that. I'd like to mention my father-in-law, Jim. Jim, you've been a wonderful grandfather to Amelia and to David. You've been a phenomenal father-in-law to me, and I appreciate your encouragement over the years. Tish, my mother-in-law, whom we lost in January of 2013, I don't know what she would have loved more, the investiture here with these beautiful surroundings and all the prestige, or the reception. She really did love her parties. Like to say special thanks to Earl Moreland and to Ed Brodsky, the two state attorneys under whom I served. They allowed me to represent the people of the state of Florida for 21 satisfying years. I'd like to talk about my former coworkers at the state attorney's office. I worked with great lawyers, veteran lawyers, neophytes, but I learned something from each and every one of them. And then, of course, there was a support staff at the office, the unsung heroes. Those are the people that allowed a lawyer like me to go into court and look like a far more skilled litigator than I really was, because they were the people that made sure the pleadings were filed, the documents reached the lawyers, and the witnesses showed up outside of the courtroom, which you litigators know is the hardest part of the job of all. My daughter, Amelia. Amelia, you're so quick-witted, you're so bright, and you're so caring. You inspire me, little girl, in so many ways. And David, my son, you're growing up so fast. Same shoe size as me now, and he's 12. You know, David, don't lose your inquisitiveness and your love of learning. It's going to take you far. And Liz, my wife, you've encouraged me like no one else. From the time I submitted my first judicial application, a good 10 years ago, and every subsequent submission. And I know with absolute certainty I wouldn't be here today but for you. But folks, this celebration today shouldn't have all the focus on me. Because remember, the position of state trial court judge, while that's a permanent position created by our state constitution, my occupancy of that position is temporary and fleeting in the whole scheme of things. So really, this investiture is a celebration of our constitutional representative democracy. Now, I'm thrilled to see a lot of children here. And I'm going to guess for many of you, this might be your first trip to the courthouse. And then many of you who aren't involved in the legal system, this too might be your first visit to the beautiful, historic Manatee County Courthouse, historic courtroom. And for you folk, I have two things to say. One, this is your courthouse. This is the courthouse of the people of this county. It's not the courthouse of the judges or of the lawyers or of the court staff. It is your courthouse. Secondly, come again. Come to this building or to the adjacent Judicial Center and get a real-life civics class. See the three branches of government come together under one roof. Now, in closing, I'd like to say one last thing. I'd like to share with you a recent experience. Last week, I, along with the state's newest trial court and appellate court judges, went to Tallahassee. And while in Tallahassee, we were addressed by the Chief Justice of the Florida Supreme Court, Justice Labarga. And he spoke on many subjects and imparted many words of wisdom. But he had one quote in particular that moved me. And what the Chief Justice said was as follows: as a judge, you can do so much good. Well, that's my goal. That's my pole star. It is my hope and prayer that in these coming years on the bench, I can do so much good. Thank you all.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you of the reception to follow at the Arts Center on Manatee 209 9th Street West. At this time, the judges will single file leave the courtroom. Judge Iten will remain here for congratulations. We are in recess. Thank you.
Thank you.